What's up, family? The world's so different now. Fuck school. School is for fools. Without a father. Still intimates. The wild immigrants. A story you don't know. The shit I used to bump in school. Ha 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 ha. I remember I copped this CD at 12th grade. Ha ha. I went to night school. We was thumping and then this shit got like 4-5 mics in the source too. This album wasn't even that hot to me though. I mean, it had some heat on there, but it wasn't no classic to me. But this song was shit. Make me get it. With no milk. Read. With Mrs. Berry. Dog. Mom. The glorious story is unheard. You don't know, yeah, how crazy it is. Yeah, I had to make this part 2. School is for fools. Well, I had made a. I know. This song took over what I was about to say. I used to love this part. I used to listen. Didn't I sing? Can you forgive me? That is my joint right there. You don't know. Yeah. But I had made a video already for part 2, man, and that it was so deep, man. My phone just straight up erased it. It wouldn't even let me never see it. I don't know what was up with that, man. About school is for fools. I don't even know if I can still hit them same points I was saying, man. Man, but the first video I really didn't get into it too much. I was just rambling, and I'm about to ramble again. You know, I was thinking about school. I think I had ended my video, had cut off. I was talking about my son in school. Little flight. Yeah, I was saying he was able in elementary, you know, to be a little looser than me than I was. You know what I mean? Because my parents, you know, they was on me. They was like the old traditional parents. You know what I mean? They'd whoop you if the teacher called or shit like that. Get on you, they'd follow the teachers. And me, I didn't follow what the teacher said about my children. I let my children, because I know I raised my children right, and I know they good kids, so I don't take nobody saying over what they say. So my son, he had more room to wiggle than me. You know what I mean? Like he be in school and he still, you know, he my child. He like me and his mom, you know. So he be there. Both of my kids, they be in school cussing and stuff like that, getting in trouble. My son, he used to be fighting. He love him a good old fight. I got the little records in there. I kept the paper because it was fun. He won One time he got into it with a kid, him and this little dude named Angelo. I bet they be mad because they seen each other up at the Linwood Park. They up there shaking hands. That's his man. But one year, I think they was like in the first grade or something. And them niggas, they be getting into it all the time. That was like his little rival. Ha ha ha. One of the letters that got sent home, my son, he was in the gym and he was doing something, and the little nigga came over there and said something to him. My son, like, what? And the teacher, she just sat back. I guess she wanted to see what was gonna go on, so she sat back and where they couldn't see her, and she had to write the report. She said the little boy said something to my son. My son said, you come over here, you do something to me, I'm gonna beat your ass." And said the boy said something back like, I'm gonna beat your ass. Something. He said, my son say, come and I'm gonna bite you or something like that. It was so funny, but I got the paper in there. He used to get right up. He stabbed people with forks. I used to send him to school with a lunch, and his lunch be really like with spaghetti and stuff. I used to send him with good stuff, and that nigga, he had his fork. They stopped letting him come to school with a fork. He stabbed a nigga with a fork. He grabbed the boy Angelo face in the middle of class, left a big old scratch on his face. He stabbed one little nigga with a pencil. He was, my son, he was going. He. That's why I say he was more cut than me because he had more leverage. Like I used to be cut like that too. I ain't gonna lie, but I was more timid because I knew I had consequences coming behind mine. Now, sometimes my dad used to let me fight. Like I remember I went to we went bowling. I fired up a nigga, my man Chuck. That's my baby to this day. I just talked to him on inbox. He was a badass little nigga. Always make me fight him. He be pushing me to the head. I go crazy. Be punching on him, fighting way like a maniac. My dad, I know he used to be proud of me, dog. Snatched me off the nigga. I mean, I beat this nigga named Chris ass at the church. I was a kid. I used to be throwing him. But my son, he got that in. He go, man. He was in school having but school like that. Why I want to say I'm laughing now, but I want to get to the ills of school. Why my son got to be at school fighting and stuff, man? He go to school, that ain't right. And a lot of kids, in school, man, used to go to fight every day, man. I asked my son, I'm like, man, what be going on, man? The boy be starting with you, man. He trying to bully you. My son, like, he like, I ain't gonna lie. He said, some days I started, and some days he started. he like that. Yeah, then him and the boy ended up being cool the next year. My son still was getting into it, and teachers was always just focused on him, man. I had notes. I wish I had this one notebook over here. I show y'all. I used to write down notes about the teacher. Cause she was trying to tell me what my son was doing, and I was using what she was saying as she picking with him and trying to find these things. Man, them teachers ill. They was trying to build up cases against him. And my son, he really a good kid, man. He ain't not no bad kid, man. He's a good kid, excellent son, man. And they was trying to, and force agenda on him to make him like he bad because he had his own way of thinking. He did their little schoolwork. Son used to get good grades. He used to have his little lunch every day. He go to school and he be frustrated. Like, man, they keep saying stuff to me, man. These kids keep saying jealous stuff. They jealous about me having lunch and all that, man. School was wicked, man. You know what I mean? Because the teachers they got over the kids, they're not in their right minds either. These is regular people, worldly people, too. Like, they them people don't eat clean. Them teachers, man. Yeah, my son and my daughter had this one teacher. She used to pick with my daughter first, and I went up there and I had told that lady by herself. Like I really checked her. I didn't yell at her or show no violence or nothing. I talked to her calmly, but I broke her down. And she was so frustrated and mad, and I was like, "Look how you acting," because I'm saying the simple stuff. She wasn't in her right mind to even teach children, and they got these people in schools all over America, man. This woman, the same woman, she dumped my one man M Dollar's son out of desk. Boom. All right, H my nigga M Dollar. She dumped his son out the desk. I went and told him, like, man, my daughter said she dumped your son out the desk. And Mike Dollars, he was chasing that money. He was a little concerned. He's like, well, I'm gonna tell my baby mama go check on it. But me, man, I would have nutted up. But man, Dollar, boy, he's out here getting that. When he was chasing that money, he man, all right, H my nigga. Well, yeah, that teacher was unstable, and it's the teachers they got with the kids, man. She did something to my man Wet's son, all right, H Wet. All our kids was in the same class. So that was good. So we could watch over our kids together. And that teacher did something crazy to my man Wet's son, and my daughter came home and told me like she did this. Man, I went and told Wet. Man, Wet went up there and they called the police on Wet. That nigga, he lost it. He was gonna beat the teacher. He was gonna beat everybody ass in there. They had to get that. See, we the new parents. We ain't like back in the day, man. We about to let y'all just mess over our kids. Back in the day, the parents would take everything the teachers say. It was about respect the elders, and you gotta still respect elders. But these ain't the same elders, man. These people nowadays, they watching these teachers watching Love and Hip Hop, and they watching VH1 and RuPaul, and these teachers, and this whole world, everybody is, not how we supposed to be. Like everybody is acting immature now, and these the people that they call the teachers. Like I just seen a video of a lady up at the school beating the teacher down so bad the teacher pissed herself. Ha ha. Because the teacher calls CPS on her or something like that. Just the ills of school, like, that's just a little stuff that go on in school. Violence, a lot of violence. Like I was saying, when I went to school, it was a lot of violence. Walking to, middle school, violence was heavy, man. Violence used to be, man, like I said, it was warriors. Some niggas used to fight every day. I ain't getting to all them fights like everybody, because some niggas want, but some niggas used to come looking for fights, and they'd find people to do it, and they'd do it. With me, I stand up for myself. Or when we wrestle and play, I was like one of the boys, and they slam a nigga through the floor. Or we be chest punch. I just hit. So a lot of people ain't mess with me too much. Plus, I was cool. I was calm, but I still did. Especially in high school, it started being more violence, and I used to be a part of that. Fights and all type of shit. School was violent. Shootings. We used to walk to school. Me and my man, by the time we get to the front door, we gotta stop at the bushes because niggas throwing their burners in the bushes in high school, shit like that. In middle school, man, my man, shit, about to bring a burner to school. I put it in the locker, stuff like that. A couple of my mans. So violence was heavy in school, man. Like I said on the last video, niggas was getting shot. Oh, a bunch of niggas got shot at school, man. Well, my man's ran out, luck shot, bam. A whole bunch of niggas, a lot of niggas used to get their ass plugged where we was going to school. See, like I was saying, Zone 8 versus Linwood, Zone 8 should try and jump people, but we come get our big homies, and they go down there, and it be a gun, they gun down there gunning. And I'm talking about big homies, like we 12, 13, 14. Our big homies ain't nothing but 16, 17, 18. Ha ha ha. They are like our big brothers. They right up over us. And we come, because they had to go through the same tribulations we did walking to school with them Zone 8 niggas, so they couldn't stand them. And man, wait. Linwood would go down there and fire that motherfucking zone up. Ha 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 ha. I'd have been down a couple of cases. And we niggas out there firing that bitch up. We out there cheering because we too young. We ain't got our straps yet. Ha ha ha. Hey, this is middle school. So, man, stuff like that, man. It was very violent in school back in the day. Middle school and high school and elementary school. It used to be a lot of fights and violence, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, the teachers, who is these teachers, man? A lot of these teachers, these are regular people. These are sex addicts. These are drug addicts. Like I had a teacher, I can't remember his name, but he was our math teacher at McMichael. And he always used to be playing with his nose, man. That nigga used to be, we used to be laughing at him then. We was kids. Like, we knew what drugs was, but we used to be laughing. Why? Well, we in high school, Like I said, everybody was hustling. My man Coop, my man Kenny Coop was on the east side. He was going to school with us over there, but I don't know how he went to the east side with his people, and he was over there hustling in a spot. And the motherfucker, our middle school math teacher, used to come to the spot copping rocks from this nigga, boy. Nigga smoking rocks, nigga. And they're supposed to be our teacher, man. That's what I'm saying. These teachers, you never know who they is. Like, I had teacher. My mama always worked for the school board, and she had teacher friends, her homegirls, and they be that my teacher. I had my science teacher was my mama homegirl, but she wasn't her homegirl while I was going there. This teacher used to, that was my homegirl though. She paddled my hand when I used to be young at elementary school because I was silly and bad. I'd do some shit, call me up there, pat everything. This was my teacher. Man, she was end up being my mama homegirl over here chilling, getting drunk, partying, messing with my big homies. My mama put my big homies on her. Ha ha, she's a regular ass woman, dog. Yeah. And these are people we be putting over our kids, dog, trusting our kids in these folks' hands. The teachers, man, the principals, man, these people be all in type of they into them letter groups, LB, um, bacon and lettuce tomatoes, group. They doing all that, looking at your kids. You know, a lot of the teachers, man, they male teachers I've heard over the years that certain male teachers that mess with young girls, and I heard security guard was cracking in young girls while we was in high school and shit like that. And I done heard about female counselor teachers, ladies, having sexual things with the young females, turning them out. A counselor, I can say my homegirl name got turned out by them counselor, two of them, by an old lady counselor lady at the schools. So we just sending our kids into these hands of these people, not even thinking about it because we think school is all right, man, but school wasn't right. The teachers, but the curriculums they taught, the science they taught wasn't real science because they teaching you the world round and all this. And come on, if the world was round or standing like that, we'd be all flipped over and falling over, man. Don't make sense. So they already giving you a bad picture or whatever class teach you that geometry or whatever that was wrong, fake, or however that is, geography. It was bullshit. A history class was all bullshit. Everything they taught was a lie in that history class, man. Everything they taught was a lie in there. They Christopher Columbus, all that, who the Indians, who the Africans, the slavery, all that junk was a lie. Every bit of it, every lesson that they taught in history was a lie. English, they want you to speak their grammar and words, and they give you a way to try and trick you out the way we speak, and we the ones who created language. They try and get you to say it this way and that way, teach you how to write the paragraph that way, and we used to go the other way. The camera mess you up. I did it this way, but our culture used to read backwards and read from the bottom and go up to the top like that and write like that. They trying to teach you and throw you off and how you going the other way. And whoever came with it, they came with it. They took us out of it, and we still speak it good and fluent. And because that's what we came. We came with English. The people, the Englishmen, the white people that come from pale people that come from over there, can't even pronounce and say the words like we can. And the way we do, the way we put it in rap, we make some, because we created that language, but they come with it with the English and try to tell you how to say it and pronounce the word, and they don't even know how to say them or pronounce them right. It's bullshit. Just take you out their natural state. What's another class they had? A lot of that was sexual education, and what wasn't nothing informative about that in that class. They teach you all the wrong things about sex and stuff and how to they teach you about abortions in that class and teach you about condoms and all that. All that sexual education wasn't nothing but a sterilization class. They just want to sterilize you, nigga. keep you away from having children. Everything. Children are bad in that sex education class. Everything. And wrap your mind up and teach you about AIDS, fake you out with that. other than telling you like, man, it's a made up disease, man. It's the medicine they give you, man, because people been having sex millions of years and making babies, and the only thing you can catch is a bacterial infection from an unclean person. But uncurable disease, only they can make those in labs, and they can distribute it to you through medicine. They ain't tell you that in sex education. They just told you take this prophylactic, and this the better one if you take this with the extra lubricant in the inside, cause it killed the sperm, and not knowing it's killing the sperm inside of you, man. So all them math was good when it taught you how to count, and add, subtract, divide, multiplication. That was good, but all that extra shit, come on, man, all that algebra and all, what the fuck was all that for, man? All that, it's just extra shit to keep you mad, keep you occupied, so you won't, really learn what you gotta learn. Like I said, we learned geometry and stuff the real way. We created it because we learned how to build and stuff. We was building the stuff before we came out with the tool. I mean, with the geometry tool, we was already using that. So we had to create this thing, this geometry thing, to use that. But we already was doing that. We was learning that in the field. Y'all was taking us from that and teaching us a watered down version of it in school. You know, with this bullshit, man. And the food they was giving us. I used to love the lunch. I used to love to go to lunch with the pizza and the French fries and I used to love that mashed potatoes and ground beef. I mean, what's the meatloaf? See, they used to even really use like realer ingredients when we was little than they start using. Cause I started working for the school at one point in time, and they was using all bull crap. When I started working there, everything was soy. And so it wasn't even the same food we had the year before because I started working for the school right after I graduated. Worked there for like a year. And it was all bull crap. And when we went there, they was giving us a lot of that bull crap food and high corn fructose syrup and MSG and all that was blowing us up and giving us all that milk to blow us up and add mucus into our system, and they just forcing that down us. So the food programming was bullshit. Um, man, a lot of stuff, man, about school, it just wasn't right, man. And if you then when you go to college, okay, people that made and went to college, what was college for? Because I don't see nobody using none of that stuff. I know people who was in college with master degrees and all this stuff and was still working at in the kitchen at the school I was working at, washing dishes because they couldn't find a job because you got to have experience to even get a job. All they got is a degree, and they owe million and dollars for the rest of their life, owing all that the college funds and be owing that shit all your life. So even going to college, all college do is I done seen good girls that was in high school never even had sex go to college and be free and be out there and come back and I had 10 sex partners. Like, man, what the heck? Like, so, man, schools, I think it just took away to snatch you out your house for 8 hours, and man, we was putting violent situations, heavy over sex situations, line curriculums, and I can go on and on. These videos shut off, and I don't want to make this to a double part, but I might make part three, man, and really go down in it, the history of school. But it used to, man, yep, the violence, like I said, the curriculums, the over sexual, every you dealing with all these people, they raised up in this home different. Now you taking in their ways and actions. I could see when my kids went to school, they'd be coming home singing songs and shit that we never even let them hear. Like, how y'all hear that? Oh, my friend at school taught us that. Or like when I was saying about that gay nigga Lil Nas X, they learned that from school. That ride to the wheel. I said, man, I stop singing that shit. Where that bullshit? What's that? What's that about? You got to check it to your kids. They give every holiday come up, they forcing that on them. They be like, oh, Halloween is good, man. All that candy and shit, fuck the kids' teeth up, kill them. They have them celebrating Christmas, doing all that, and, putting Santa Claus and a white painted. They paint a lot of bullshit in school, man. I like they teach you about Black History Month, but they got to teach you all that slave and all that fake shit. But the good thing about that is they show you that we invented everything with that shit. Like nigga, we create everything. You know, they tell you about everything we created with that. Not only they put fake shit into like the Wright brothers with the airplanes. No niggas did that. We created airplanes, automobiles, and all that shit. So, but man, they forced them holidays on them in school, and you know the school ain't nothing good for it, man. They that fake diagnose them. They hit them with them immunizations in school. That's the first thing they do is immunizate them with all them, you know, all them shots and all that shit. Fucking kids up, giving them sick. They gave me chicken pox when I was little. They be trying to shoot you with polio shots and all this shit to fuck you up. And when a kid get a shot, they be sick. And the first day and fuck, man, messed up. And that's what schools do. You got to get immunized to go to damn school for nothing. Hurting you, really hurting your child. So, man, school was a bunch of bullshit, man. They control over your kids. They can keep your kids and send them. Like, if they don't agree with something you saying, the school got enough power to just take your kid and send them to a foster care right there out of your hands. You can't do nothing because they school. It's school. Man, man, y'all keep playing with them schools y'all want, man. And I ain't never seen nothing good about schools. I had fun. We made the best out of it for sure, but man, school ain't teach me nothing. I learned all my shit out here, man. You know, I learned how to count, read in elementary school, man. Other than that, I could have dropped out. All it did was make me get chicks, you know, meet a lot. I met a lot of people, good people and bad people, you know. But man, school ain't really teaching nigga nothing, man. That shit, it was a bullshit for real. My life been at danger at school. You should never go nowhere and your life be in that danger, nigga. Motherfuckers be getting shot up and shit like that. Getting jumped on, motherfuckers be getting jumped on. 20 motherfuckers. I seen in high school 20 niggas jump, beat a nigga down, put him in the hospital. Just all type of shit, man. School was for fools. I seen teachers put their hands on niggas, mace niggas.